Thank you so
Rocky
much, community
Roots.
members, for being here. This is Black Mountain, and this is our presentation on Rocky Roots. My name is Brian Sakiti.
I'm Sophie Luxton.
I'm Rafe Levy.
I'm Ali O'Brien.
I'm Josh Gower.
Excellent. So we've spent the past 2 days basically interviewing community members, walking around downtown Rocky Mount. And so I think the fundamental question that we've been trying to wrestle with is, what have we actually heard from our community members?
One person said, "There is nothing to do here, and it was the same as when I was growing up."
One of the mothers from the town said, I would let my teenagers roam around the downtown.
And we also heard, I don't feel safe letting my kids walk past the rows of empty buildings.
I think all of us, you guys have been living here for a long time. You guys can all resonate with these problems. We've sort of identified two sort of fundamental threads. The first one is that many locals in the Rocky Mount area rarely engage with the downtown. We spent an hour and 30 minutes walking down. It's sad to say that the only people that we really saw was, ironically, police officers. There's no pedestrians, nobody that was engaging with the downtown. It was all broken buildings. And the second major problem is that the Rocky Mount Center is this huge, it has this huge potential to attract people, right? It has 8,000 new visitors per weekend. But many of them never actually engage with the downtown businesses. Because when you walk down, I mean, you're not gonna see anyone, there's no businesses open. We've identified these as, pretty major problems.
And while we heard this narrative that there's nothing to do in Rocky Mount, we also recognize a deep belief in the community that exists here, and we just want to find a way to bring it downtown. And so one of the stakeholders we talked to said community is having a person, place, or thing that you're a part of and that you're proud to be a part of. And we use this definition of community as a guideline as we were generating ideas to try to build a more bottom-up approach that brings the community into the town's revitalization and makes people feel like Rocky Mount's downtown is a place that they're proud to be. So our first idea is Rocky Roots, and this is designed for people like yourselves who have lived in Rocky Mount for a long time and have Rocky Mount roots. And so this is a community program to support local businesses and provide discounts to community members, and kind of anticipating the idea that maybe emphasizing outside visitors could make the locals feel like their business isn't being prioritized. And a sponsored event of the Rocky Roots program would be the Heart of the Mount. And so this is focusing on bringing the heart back to downtown Rocky Mount through a summer series farmers market, which is capitalizing on the great weather and bringing the community together to socialize, have fun, and also support local entrepreneurs.
One lady we spoke to said the only way to entice people is free stuff and discounts. So here is Rocky Roots. This is a discount program for the local community, people who live and work in Rocky Mount. And you'll have a membership card, as you can see up here, that you can show at stores, and you'll get maybe a 5 to 10% discount. And then this would be a sticker that would be proudly presented in the window of shops that support this program. This will allow locals to maybe go every week to coffee because they feel that they're being prioritized. They're getting their 5% discount. As though it doesn't seem like a lot, it makes people feel like they're wanted in the businesses.
So another core part of the Rocky Roots initiative is going to be updating online information. So one thing that we noticed is that a lot of the downtown Rocky Mount businesses, when you search online, you'll either find outdated information in regards to hours of operation, or just a lack of information in general, whether it's reviews or pictures of the food if it's a restaurant. So one thing that we believe will be very important to focus on is coalescing and updating the information. So one idea we had is we can tap into the manpower from local colleges like North Carolina Wesleyan and the Nash and Edgecombe County community colleges to go around downtown and stop at each of these businesses, get updated information on hours, review the food, take pictures, because these sort of things lend a very important level of online legitimacy that is increasingly important in an increasingly online society.
Yeah, and we also did some research on these businesses. It didn't take long for us to realize that, if I am looking for food. I just finished at the event center at an event, and I'm looking for a bite to eat. We go to a restaurant, and then it says on the website that it's open, but it's actually closed, or the building is boarded up. These are all pretty important problems that we are hoping to solve through this program.
And then the Heart of the Mount initiative would kind of coincide with the city's current event scheduling, like the Juneteenth celebration and the kind of Thursday night weekly music events at the Imperial Centre. We hope to kind of combine those all into a weekly summer series that would see farmers markets, local sounds, kind of tapping into that Eastern North Carolina's rich musical history, local artists as well, maybe combining some of our previous groups' ideas in bringing together schools for art competitions. Basically just creating kind of a weekly community gathering that will see not only the attraction of entrepreneurs, but also the attraction of community members from a wide variety of wider communities around Rocky Mount. We also hope to use local churches and Sunday services to kind of attract these community members, as well as, of course, the event centre to attract their visitors maybe between games on Saturday afternoon.
So this is our vision of the future of Rocky Mount, a place where the foot traffic generated by our summer series and the Rocky Roots program will incentivize local entrepreneurs to create pop-ups and eventually, hopefully, move into open storefronts to restore the heart to downtown Rocky Mount.
Did you happen, as you walked downtown, did you happen to see our City of Rocky Mount Downtown Development Office?
Yes.
Did you happen to go in there? Well, the reason why I asked, you brought up a great idea, suggestion. And you know, we got our staff downtown, and I think they can work with people at Westland, but help bring these websites up to date.
Yeah.
I mean, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
But it takes a coordinated, concerted effort. And maybe we can help with that project. And maybe it ought to be just one website where everybody is there. And then that way, there's somebody who can continue to be focusing, making sure updates are done or deletions made, etc. But we as a city need to do a better job of working with not just downtown residents, but all throughout the city, of promoting what we do and how we do it. And a website for downtown is good, be wonderful. I think a website for other areas within the city would also serve to help all of Rocky Mount.
You've done a good job on identifying some opportunities for downtown. Pop-ups, as you showed earlier, or just a few moments ago, I would think might be an opportunity for a quick jump start, and that's what we need here. You've identified a real lack of reason to come down here, and you've met it with reasons to come down, and those are doable. I'm not going to call them quick fixes, but certainly a bridge to what we would ultimately like to do, and that's have a downtown that is exploding with energy, and our storefronts are lively and occupied. And I think that's a neat thing. We do have a great community farmers market that really is sort of the halfway mark between the mill and downtown. That is pretty much local. But having something also downtown as we have more people living in our downtown facilities, I think that would be fun. I think that would be a reason to.
We didn't have time to fully get into the details, but a lot of the stakeholders said that like maybe you like partnering with that downtown existing farmers market,
Yeah.
and maybe like doing alternating weeks in the old train station could be cool to bring people
Yeah, we can.
right into the heart of downtown.
We'd be glad to host that down there.
Mm-hmm. You got plenty of space.
We do. And beautiful green space out front.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Great presentation. You identified some of the major problems downtown. We do have a farmers market, a train station. And just be mindful, in Durham, you had North Carolina Central, historical black university. And then you had Duke. And then you had the arts and science. But when I was in school in 87 to 92, Durham downtown was it looked like Rocky Mount. You had the courthouse and some other businesses. But eventually, elected officials and others caught on, and then they built the DPAC. And a lot of citizens, like the naysayers, here in Rocky Mountains, and it's not safe. I wouldn't be downtown, which actually that's not true. And same thing with Durham. They said it wouldn't work, but it's one of the most important things, or one of the most attractive things downtown is DPAC, because it brings people from all over to hear different genre of music. And so I like the heart of Rocky Mount and the heart, what is it? It was one other thing that you, I think that we should use, Tom.
Rocky Roots.
Rocky Roots.
Rocky Roots.
That's a good tagline. That's a good tagline.
I don't know if that's trademarked or not, but I think that could be a good jump for a campaign for downtown, you know, the heart of Rocky Mountain. You know, some people say Murder Mountain and all this and that, but, you know, let's change that to the heart of the Mount, Rocky Roots. So you identified the problem, you gave us some solutions, and the only thing we have to do is to fund it and implement it,
Yeah.
Tom and David. And so
we would
I
support
thoroughly
it.
enjoy it. We support it.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.